Okay, I know I said I was not going to do any more sewing before we left for Georgia, but it's only Tuesday. We're not leaving until next Monday. What am I going to do with all that time? So, I think I'm going to try making another Chevron table runner. It's going to be a short one with some of this fabric that I just made the squares out of, the charm square one. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to cut the centerpiece out of this and then do 4 strips instead of 5 out of these, and I think use white as my little squares. And I might even have enough white to border it with. I'm not sure. I'll see when I get there. I bought this little scrap of fabric thinking I could use that for the squares, but I think the white will be better, especially because of that piece there. So I don't think I'll be using that. I might not take that. So, anyway, I've been powering through all my stuff, trying to put stuff together. I don't think I need to take too many small projects. I am going to be making a quilt for my granddaughter, and I should be getting those layer cakes today. I keep wanting to say fat quarters because that's what I've been working with so much lately. But hers is going to be a layer cake one. But I found some good pieces, good chunks of fabric, nice fabric that I might be able to use for backs or something. So I'm going to take that with me just in case. So anyway, 10-inch square. I need 4 2.5 by 10.5-inch strips. And I can get that out of the leftover pieces that I did the charm squares out of. So, I'm going to cut up my strips, iron my pieces, cut up my strips, cut my little 2.5-inch squares out of the white. We'll see how we go. Okay, here are my 4 10.5-inch strips and my 8 yellow squares. So, 2 of these strips, 2 of the 4 are going to get white squares sewn onto them. So I'll be taking 2 from each of those out of the 4 strips and sewing on white squares. And then we start sewing them to my centerpiece. So we'll get these sewn on and pressed, and then we'll be ready to put it together. Another quick and easy. It's a little more than the other one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get those done. I've got all my little 2.5-inch squares sewn on 2 of them. And I've decided that's the order that I will do. So, I do have to refer to my directions to remember. So I'm sewing first 1 plain strip, and then the one with the square to it. So this one is the one that's sewn. This one doesn't really show the square sewn on, but I do another plain strip. Well, if I do it with the square, no, it needs to be a plain strip and has to be sewn that way with the square. And then they start getting sewn this way. So, okay, so these 2 are sewn on, and so now the plain strip gets goes even with the edge of the middle square, gets sewn that way, and then this one matches up to that. I think this is where I got confused the first time I did one of these. Because I kept thinking, well, there's all this extra stuff, but this all gets trimmed off in a straight line. Well, sort of straight. So, Okay, this one's going to get sewn over here, lined up to this edge here, and then this one will get lined up to this edge. Okay, first strips are on. This is the second row, and this is the short strip, and that's going to line up with the edge of your first white square. And then your second strip with the white square will line up against the end of that strip, so that we will have our line of little white squares throughout. So I'll do those 4 strips, the third and the fourth. Okay, get ready to sew the last strip of the second color. I've got these 2 on. Somehow I always need to look at the pattern on this one because it confuses me, I guess, as to how to put these strips on. So I got that one sewn right to the edge. And now this one, the white square, will get sewn to the edge of that one again. So these will go down in a row. You know, the first time I did this down in Georgia, I was confused by this edge out here. But eventually it's going to be cut into a straight line. Once you get the first couple rows of these done, it seems like it gets a little bit easier to figure it out. I mean, you're just putting your next short strip up to the end of the diamond, up to the end of the square. It looks like a diamond, depends on. And then sewing the next strip on the end. So I just have these 2 for the third row, and then I just have my 4th row. So I hope it'll look all right being short, because it does have a big center square. So it might look kind of short and pudgy, I don't know. But that's what we're going with. We'll see how it comes out. Okay, I've got my 4 strips all sewn, and so now I've got to figure out, do I just put a white border around it? I have enough of these jelly roll strips to do the border. It does put white against white. I do not have enough of this fabric to do the back. It's long enough, but it's not quite wide enough. So, do I do a border in that? I could. I also have this quite a bit. I don't know where this came from. This like pale yellow. But you may notice the background in this one is a little almost like cream. So I could do the border in that, or I could do the back in that. I think I also have enough to do the back in this cranberry, which is what I think I might do. I think I might use this for the back. Shall I use this for the border? I can use the yellow for the back. Doesn't really go with this. This is almost reddish, purplish. I think it looks pretty red on the camera. But because of the cranberry and the flowers here, there's like that cranberry in this one here. I don't think I want to do that in the border. I don't think it blends well enough with this stripe here. So I think border, if nothing else. So I think it'll either be white, and I'm not all that keen on the white. So but do the yellow. I might just cut a strip, 2.5 inch strip off of this and see what it looks like. Of course, I think I could do, whoops. I also could use this dark turquoise Might do a 2.5 strip over each of from each of those colors and see which I like better. So we'll come back to this. Okay, I still can't decide. Figured out what that yellow came from. I used it for a border on a quilt, which is why it's a very long piece. Part of me likes that turquoise. Part of me likes the pale yellow, where it's not glaring, but kind of sets off the middle part. I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to ponder this for a while. Because I'm not sure. So, rather than have you guys hang out, I'll let you know when I make a decision. I think I'm going to go with the yellow. It's a pale yellow. But I think it just sets off the other colors better. I cut some strips of the other one. Let's see, that's the long one. This is the short one. So that would go like that, and that would go like that. And that will go along here. I think it just fades out, you know, that last strip there. Oh, mercy me. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with the yellow.